Bikes are stupidly expensive these days, so a load of people actually try to maximize the amount of riding that they can do with one bike, which is exactly what I've done. This is my heavily customized road, cyclocross and gravel bike, and it's actually featuring a load of parts that technically shouldn't go together. We're going on a ride, we're gonna have a look at the parts that I've chosen so that you can critique them, and hopefully everyone can learn something about putting one of these bikes together. If you're going to critique my bike setup, that's fine, do it in the comments, but keep the critiques to the bike setup, not my personal choices like what I think is this very dashing moustache. Let's go. Okay, starting with the frame set, this is the Specialized Crux. I think it's the Pro model from 2022. And I pretty much bought it because I loved the Crux, I love the way it rode. I wanted something that would do gravel and cyclocross, and I liked the paint. That is so important. So as you might know, I've got the Crux, but I've also got the Athos, and the Athos that I've got is an S-Works, and this Crux is a lower model, which actually I vastly prefer. It is a bit heavier, it is a bit less stiff, and it is a hell of a lot less expensive, which, I mean, this is still a very, very pricey little bike, but it does make it just a little bit easier. Plus, there are advantages to having a less stiff frame. For me, the S-Works, because they're chasing such a lightweight design, particularly on the Athos, actually kind of just ruins the ride feel, and it's just a bit too stiff. It's great for racing, but I very rarely go racing when I'm just doing a nice gravel ride. So having a slightly less stiff frame is actually quite nice. One of the things that appealed to me with the Crux, and one of the reasons that I actually bought it, is it's actually quite a simple frame. There's not too many mounts and stuff going on. Personally, I think if I'm gonna fit this thing out to do a bit more bike packing, longer rides, then realistically, I just fit some strap-on bike bags. I don't really think I want anything else, and with products like tail fin, things like that, I just don't think I need the mounts on the frame built in. But there is one huge problem with this frame set, or more accurately with my Athos. It's that the two bikes that I actually own are far too similar. So I will be selling that Athos at some point and getting a new aero frame set. Comment below what frame set I should get, because I'm still a little bit on the fence. The next thing to chat about is the Groupset, because this is actually the bit where there are components that shouldn't really go together. Shimano would quite rather you didn't mix Ultegra and GRX, but I prefer the ergonomics of the Ultegra shifters to the GRX stuff. So basically, I wanted to put them into the Groupset, but also the crankset is an Ultegra model. I don't really like the look of the GRX ones, yet the rear derailleur and front derailleur are there for two very specific purposes. Having the front derailleur from the GRX model, well, that just increases the tire clearance that you can get, which personally is just a bit more important when it comes to gravel. But then the rear derailleur, well, that's got the clutch in, and it has a massive range to it. So personally, that's just worth having. What the clutch does is stop the chain from bouncing around so much, which, okay, so that helps in gravel, but I really like that in cyclocross as well. I think from my experience, you get maybe just a fewer drop chains, which is always good. Don't want to drop your chain. Finishing up my Groupset is actually a KMC chain. I can't remember the exact model, but these are the ones that come pre-waxed, which I find is absolutely fantastic. One for summer gravel, you know, keeps that drivetrain very efficient because I need to save those few of a watts. But really, when it comes to cyclocross, it also stops your chain from picking up so much dirt, which in the space of a cyclocross race, you know, just an hour long, you might think, oh, you can't really pick up so much dirt on your chain. You can, and it will chuck it off the rings if you're using the wrong lube and you get the wrong conditions like sandy mud. it's just not worth it. So a wax chain was really good. And I like KMC chains, seem to last a long time. A disaster has befallen me. We've got to go and find my chain, which has come off.
You know what I had on that ride? I had problems. Fingers, cold, toes, cold, face, couldn't feel it. Now, I could spend hundreds on fancy kit, but this is England in the winter. I'm still going to be riding through rain, cold rain, and dark rain. So why not take advantage of Wahoo's Black Friday pricing on the Kickr Core 2? It's got loads of jazzy stats like new race mode for super fast data speeds, integrated Wi-Fi for easy updates, and the same excellent ride quality that made the first one so darn popular. They have some tasty savings for a very limited time, so make like a sensible cyclist and get yourself to the link in the description to snap one up.
When it comes to wheels, I've actually got 3 options, which is quite bougie, I know, and I'm quite lucky to have that. But I've got road wheels from Roval. They are the ones that kind of I just had lying around. They are the Alpinist, and to be honest, they're nothing special, but they are quite nice wheels for having on a bike like this. 30-something mil profile, and just, they're good enough. For the road wheels, I've got Continental's GP5000 ASTR, so that's the wet weather version. This is really muddy. This is so slick. Oh, that's bloody deep. Oh, we'll go back. I don't think that's a proper trail. So for the gravel wheels, I've actually got Yolio's latest carbon hoops. These have been actually really good. They've got everything that I want from a gravel wheel. So just like a 27 mil internal and a relatively light weight of under 1,400 grams. You can't really go wrong. They've also got a 36 tooth ratchet on here, which for gravel and stuff like that, when, well, if you're riding stuff like this and maybe you're making a few micro corrections with your feet, that's actually really, really good. And very loud as well, so everyone can hear you coming, which is quite good when you're dealing with trails and dog walkers. On these things, I've actually got a set of tyres that are very, very new to me. This is actually one of my first rides on them. I raced them at the weekend in cyclocross, and it's a 40mm Vittoria Terreno T90 tyre, and it's the mud edition, which I just thought a lot of our local cyclocross races are actually pretty much gravel courses, so it's quite nice to actually have a tyre that's suited to the stuff that you're riding instead of sticking with a 33, which at the local level you're not really beholden to. There's kind of no point in trashing a set of wheels just because you haven't got the tyres for what you're riding over. Ooh. And then finally, I do have a set of dedicated cyclocross wheels, but they're becoming a bit obsolete just because I've got this set up and they're actually really, really fast. I'll say it now just in case you don't get to the end of the video. I don't think for a second that I need 3 wheel sets. I could absolutely get away with just running the Yolios all year round and just switching tyres. And to be honest, the Vittorias are actually quite fast on the road as well. So unless I was thinking about doing group rides with this setup, then I could probably just leave these on all year round for road, cyclocross and gravel because, well, I have been. Let us now have a moment's applause for the biggest kind of unsung hero on this bike, and that is the SKS Speed Rocker Mudguards. Now I've got these in on test and I can already tell you that they are fantastic. I mean, the stuff that we've been riding today has been a lot of splashy puddles and a lot of mud. And actually, all right, I got some mud on me, but it's not half as much as what I'd have if I didn't have any mudguards. And I know what you're saying, oh Liam, it's gravel, you want to get muddy. No, I don't. Not during the UK winter. And by the number of people that have already asked me about how these mudguards are doing, well, a lot of people don't want to get muddy either. So if you're looking for a set, these do up to 42mm tyre clearance, which I think is quite good actually. So probably going to be good if you're running wider road tyres as well. You don't need any eyelets for these. They do Velcro on, which you might be thinking, oh, that doesn't sound very secure. But I mean, you can see what we're riding over here, and they are absolutely fantastic. I think there's a trail down here, or there used to be. It's going to be one of those ones that hasn't been ridden in ages, is covered in roots. And you think, oh, Liam, you're riding slow. Yes, I am. Because each one of these routes wants to kill me. Power, power. Whoa. Tell you what, those tyres at the back are grippy. I can never remember where the actual trail goes. Yes, lovely, lovely techie riding. Lots of bomb holes. Lots of mud. Cows! Hello. Hello, friends. And the cows are running beside us and saying hello. We're going to leave them now. Bye-bye, coos. A disaster has befallen me. We've got to go and find my chain, which has come off. Look at that! Chain. Disappeario. Come on, we can follow our tracks back this way. Ha ha ha. There you are, Snecky Sneck. Now, chances of the quick links being findable? Check. We've still got, we've still got one quick link. Might work. Okay, let's put this back on. If anyone points out to me that I'm putting my chain on in the wrong direction currently, well, I'm sorry, I can't see it. It's covered in mud. I love sorting out tangled chains. Okay, let's do it that way. Not sure I've ever seen Pogacar doing this. Ooh! Is that a... That's a bent link. I've just snapped a chain. I haven't broken the quick link. Oh, that's really annoying because that's going to be super delicate to get it back on the rings. Look at that. I think it's the grit, you know. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Okay. What do we reckon the chances of getting this back are? Should we try it? Let's kind of kick and push until we get to some decent stuff. And then we are gonna glass crank this on one bent link. Oh, I shouldn't have changed gear. Jesus, Liam. I don't actually know where we got to. I think we were talking about Mudguards. Oh no, finishing kit. Well, as you can see, I've got the Pro Vibe bar. It's nice and carbon. It was a bit overkill, if I'm honest, but here's what it is. That's the stem that came with the bike. Saddle is an old Roman Expert, possibly Pro, possibly can't remember, that I've had for years. And then this stuff, Pro Logo's 3D bar tape, which is offensive to many people's eyes. My former colleague at Bike Radar, Jack Luke, really didn't like the look of this stuff. But I tell you what, it really does work well. I think home is this way. All right, well, we'll just kind of roll what we can roll, and we won't change gear whatsoever. This is when you need zip ties. I'm gonna have all the mountain bikers in the comments telling me that they could have fixed that with a zip tie. Probably right. Okay, very gentle pedaling. Very gentle. The chain broke again. We're not too far from the car, so I'm gonna walk it back now. But I thought I'd take this opportunity while we are walking to just cover some of the costs, because that is the whole point of this video and the whole point of these kind of bikes, that maximize the amount of riding that you can do for your money. And I put all of the costs on the screen. I've done them not RRP because realistically who buys stuff at RRP. The prices might be different in your region, but I think for the amount of riding that you can do on this bike, it's not actually that bad. And there are certainly ways that you could economize. Like, you definitely don't need 3 wheel sets. You don't need electronic group sets. Like, mechanical would be absolutely fantastic. And there's a lot of carbon on this bike that realistically you don't need either. So the bars, they could be aluminium. You could get them for a tenner probably, and that would be fantastic. You could also start with a secondhand frame set or even a secondhand bike and then just customize it to your needs. But really, for me, this is a fantastic bike and I really, really love riding it. And there comes an issue with that because it's too similar to my Athos. So my Athos is gonna go up for sale at some point. Anyway, if you liked this video, please give it a like and hype the video too. I'm gonna walk home and I will see you next time.